There is a channel on YouTube called You Can't Unhear That. It's probably very familiar to any Beatles fans watching this video. Basically, the guy points out unusual goings-on in the Beatles songs, and the idea is that once you've heard what he's pointed out, then you'll never forget that you've heard it. I thought it would be a good title for this video because what I'm going to try and do in this video is play you some cover versions of music by not only the Beatles but also by Elvis, and they are interesting, let's put it that way. So first I'm going to show you where the music comes from, and later on in the video I'll take you through my modest collection of Japanese Beatles records. So something a little different this week. This is what I would call a Flexi book, and these were very popular around the time that this one was published in 1964. It's about the size of a 7-inch single, glossy, thick card cover. The pages inside are also on pretty thick, more like card than paper, sort of in between the two. And there aren't many pages in it. You also get a bunch of Flexi-Discs. There were 4, but one of them sadly has gone missing. And the Flexi-Discs actually all have their own little wallets, as you can see here. This is the empty one. So as you can see, this particular issue is devoted to Elvis and the Beatles. And at this particular point in time, they both had movies out, as it shows here. A Hard Day's Night and Kissing Cousins. I'll just quickly take you through the magazine itself. So first it begins with a couple of pages on Kissing Cousins, tells you what the story is. There's another Flexi in a wallet. I'll just tell you what songs are on there as well. My Bonnie and Please Please Me are on that one. We then have a couple of pages on A Hard Day's Night. Second Flexi here is Kissing Cousins and Devil in Disguise. Sadly, this one has become severely warped. I think the magazine has a little bit of water damage. I did try to play this, but it's completely unplayable. So I'll just take that one out. In the middle spread here, you've got an essay talking about the popularity of the two artists. And then in the second half of the book, you have all the lyrics to the songs. And this group here, they were known as The Tortoise, and they performed the vocals that hopefully we'll be getting to hear in a few minutes. And it also points out on the Flexi-Discs the group who performed the music, Blue Comets, it says. I guess they were just a bunch of session guys. So what's on the other Flexi-Disc? Okay, this one here. This one has I Want to Hold Your Hand and Twist and Shout. And the missing Flexi-Disc would have had Suspicion and Viva Las Vegas. And interestingly, the Japanese title of I Want to Hold Your Hand is actually I Want to Hold You, or I Want to Hug You. So they changed the title of that song. You might also be wondering, how could they translate a title, a movie title and a song title, A Hard Day's Night? Well, they didn't try. They actually called the movie and the song The Beatles Are Coming, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah. And a lot of you Beatles fans will know that the German album was called Yeah, 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 A Hard Day's Night. So maybe that's where the Yeah, Yeah, Yeah comes from. And they even continued to call A Hard Day's Night The Beatles Are Coming, Yeah, 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 well into the CD era. The first CDs, if you've got any of the old Japanese CDs, the title on the artwork will be The Beatles Are Coming. And they changed that in the around about 2000, I think. So the modern DVDs and modern CDs, it just says Hard Day's Night in Japanese, Hard Day's Night. Okay, so let's have a listen to some of this great music. Come on, baby, come on. So what did you make of that then? You can't unhear this, right? I wish I could play some more, but you know what YouTube's like with copyright claims and copyright strikes. It's not worth taking the risk. As I said, the second Elvis Flexi is missing and the first one doesn't play, but I do actually have 3 similar magazines to this, all with Elvis Flexis in them. So we're going to have a listen to a couple of Elvis cover versions, this time performed by a different group. Have a listen to this. But I got wise, you the devil in disguise. Oh yes you are, devil in I said take it easy baby, I walk all day and my feet feel just like lead. You got my shirt falling all over the place and the shirt flopping out of my feet. Did he just sing Sweat Plopping Out of My Bed? I think he did. Anyway, I've got to say, I think my favourite out of those 4 has got to be that version of Twist and Shout. In fact, let's hear it again. Alright, finally, as I mentioned, I'm going to show you my modest collection of Japanese Beatles records, and I'll tell you what I can about them. The first thing I have is a box set. It's 62 to 66 and it's got Forever, or the Beatles Forever down the spine there, and on the back of the box it's got the 67 to 70 design. Unfortunately the box is quite beaten up, and if you look on the inside, you can see down there the white bit in the corner. Somebody has patched it up. It's taken a bit of a beating, and what goes in there are, predictably enough, the 62 to 66 and 67 to 70 albums. These are the first pressings from 1973, and this little yellow patch up here tells you that it has bonuses included, which are a big poster, the liner notes, and also a discography. There's the inside cover, same as anywhere else, and the back cover. It's just got the usual red inner sleeves, the Apple labels, and so on. I'll just show you what comes with it. It's a very nice package. You get the booklet, which has all the lyrics in English, and they've even paid for a translator to translate them into Japanese. It has credits for each song, composer, when it was released, chart positions, and a little comment on each song at the end, and a few photos. You've also got this discography, which is quite comprehensive. It has solo artist albums as well as the band albums. It even has a list of singles and EPs down here. Japanese essay here, which continues into the middle. Then it lists all the songs in alphabetical order, composers, lead singer, and the catalogue numbers of the albums where you can find them. Other lists, so it lists the RAAA certified gold albums, million selling singles, and a list of UK singles. And over here it has a list of tapes, beginning with 8 tracks, and then yeah, those are all 8 tracks, and then cassette tapes on the right, and it even has open reel tapes down here on the right as well. 4-channel discrete open reel tape, Imagine by John Lennon. Does anybody have that? So that's your discography, and then you also get this poster. There's 2 of them. There's Ringo, and where's Paul? There he is. So that's volume 1. With volume 2 it's a similar idea. This also is the 73 pressing with the lower price, 3,500 yen. In a sleeve that you know. There's an insert here for other albums. There you go. So this one also has the same extras, the booklet, discography, and then another poster. This is a different poster, suitably from a later era. There's Paul, and where are the other 2? Here they are. There's John and Ringo. So that's that. What else have I got? I've got a couple of box. Oh no, sorry, I've got another box set. That was the first one. This is the From Liverpool box. This used to have an Obi at the top here, but that's long gone. I guess it's difficult to store because this is one of those clamshell boxes that opens up in the middle. I'll show you a little bit of this. If you're a big fan of the Beatles, you're probably familiar with what it looks like. I don't think it's any different to other countries. It does have a poster. I don't know if you got this poster with the overseas versions. There's George. There's Paul and John, and there's Ringo. Looks like they're trying to shake hands. And you do get a couple of other things. A booklet. This has notes about all the different sides. This is a Japanese translation of notes written by Hugh Marshall. So I guess overseas copies came with an English booklet. Songs all in English and Japanese. And then, what else have you got in here? Okay, so then you got notes on every single song. And then at the end, there's another section called Did You Know? So it's sort of random facts about the Beatles there at the end. And then you've also got this booklet with all the lyrics, and once again they've made the effort to translate them into Japanese. I'll just show you one of the covers and one of the discs. I've never been that keen on the artwork for this this set. It's a bit too arty, but it's a very good set. If you check out the Parlogram YouTube channel, he did a very good video about the contents of this record, this box set, because there's quite a lot of unusual versions and mixes on here. Very fine condition. Looks like it's hardly ever been played, if at all. So that's that. I've got a few older albums as well. This is one of the old red vinyl albums from the 60s. The Meet the Beatles album. It's got the Japanese title there in the middle. It was just called Beatles in Japanese. And I think these were all available on red or black vinyl. This is the red one. This is a bit of a later one. It's from 1966. So I think the originals have long playing at the bottom here on the labels, but this one doesn't have it. And because these are really old Beatles records, they've been played a lot. You can tell there's a lot of spindle wear on the labels, pretty much shiny, but they play really, really well. I think they're very well made. The covers are also very well made. So you can see that this is a thin cover, just like the Elvis Victor ones. But what they did with these covers here, these were made by Toshiba. They actually have like a rod on the inside of the cover, just the other side of the spine here. And that reinforces the spine so that you get hardly any creases down the spine edge. There's just a couple, maybe one here and one here. Standard company inner sleeve. And you also got a lyric sheet as well with most of these old albums. Next one I have is Beatles for Sale. This is an original one with the higher price at the bottom here. So records went down in price from 1800 yen to 1750 sometime in 1966. So this is a 65 version. It's a gatefold. And this one is also a red one. It actually has even more. Look at that. See the spindle wear there. It's shiny. The label's just gone shiny from spindle wear. But it sounds really good. It's obviously been played dozens and dozens of times. And this is a Japan only cover, Hard Days Night. It's an Apple pressing, as you can see here, but even the original ones from the 60s were the same. In fact, this is from the 60s as well. This is from 69. This is the first Apple pressing. Back cover is the same as the earlier versions too. There is a red vinyl version of that one, but mine's not red, it's on black vinyl. This one's actually in really nice condition. Funny thing is, not only with Beatles records, but with Elvis records as well, and other artists too. By the time you get to the late 60s, the records seem to be in better condition. It's as though people were making more of an effort to look after them by that point. These are not in any particular order, by the way. Just got another couple, I think. This is Help. This is another original one, and it's got this different back cover, and it's also got a gatefold sleeve. The curse of the closet strikes again. I think you might be able to make out that it's gone very brown with age. But as I've said before, that's very common with Japanese gatefold sleeves. This one also has an awful lot of spindle wear on it. There you go. But it plays really, really well. This one has the same songs as the UK album. Yeah, just a couple more. This is from 69 as well, Magical Mystery Tour. I don't need to show you this because you know what this looks like. It's the same as anywhere else on the inside with a booklet. There's a lyric sheet for the side 2 songs. There was, I believe, an insert telling you what the song titles were in Japanese, but that's not with my copy. And it's on black vinyl. And the last one I have, this is another original one. This one's from 1971. There's the lyric sheet. Let's Let It Be. Lyrics on both sides. Black vinyl. And there's the cover, which is of course a gatefold. And if you've ever wondered about this gold over here, this is the second one here, it actually says Academy Award winning record. So the album won an Academy Award for for best soundtrack, I think, in 1971. So there you go. That's all I have as far as Beatles Japanese albums go. For my Elvis viewers, normal service will be resumed next week. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Take care. Cheers.